on Alliance's end. You've got Lion, yeah, Earth Spike, you've got the Hex, you've got the Silence from Limp as well. You've got the Chain if you're not ready to blink out. So there's a lot that Alliance can play with in punishing AM. But Thunder Predator with their playstyle, I think they've got enough to buy space out for the AM to become a beast. So I think their lineup's looking really good. Alliance is off to a better draft than game 1, but they need to really get their ball rolling here and make use of those teamfight spells early on.
Fair enough, John. Still want to ask you the hard question though. Whose draft do you really prefer? Because that's the answer you always avoid before I ask you.
I would say Thunder Predator here. I like their draft.
Okay.
I think this is actually a really good AM game outside of the Hex. So Hanskin has a lot of pressure to hammer in control onto MNZ. But I think MNZ should still have a great time. You're forcing the Wraith King to buy Ag Shard, no matter what. Nico Baby will have to buy the Shard. And we've seen a couple of Wraith Kings go into it. For the most part, you try to avoid it. It's a bit of a gold sink, 1,400, no stats. Just upgrading your ult, giving you some skeletons as well, which is not necessarily amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see if that impacts Nico Baby's farm and his timings, because it's not something you see Wraith Kings really want to buy into anymore.
30 seconds.
Z needs to be somewhat cautious here. Go in and cut a tree. They'll see him do it. Back right off. Should be just fine. Because worst case scenario, you can skin up the blink if you really want to or need to. But there's the gut shot, and yeah, he'll go for it. No risk being taken. Takes the blink, make sure he gets out safely, and now he knows there's 3 heroes down bot. They can pressure top a little bit just to ensure that FNG can't steal the other bounty away. He's going to try, however, not for long. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade to get things started. Nico's going to run his way all the way back up top. Things should just get back to normal, just dual lanes here.
Yeah, just not too much excitement there. We're going to see the lanes break out. You do have the top lane with Frank and the Beastmaster and Moose on the Enigma. So it is indeed a Beastmaster Enigma lane. They can get off with the denies. They're going to be able to get the range creep as well. Now, FNG on the Chen, and we've seen this in response. We've seen Enchantress into Beastmaster, Chen into Beastmaster is almost the same. Persuade, use the Hurley Persuasion on the boar. And suddenly you have a very good tool to harass out the Beastmaster himself. Of course, you can also do that to the Eidolon, but it doesn't feel as value compared to the boar. It's still a good amount of initial gold for FNG to punish the Eidolon spam. Moose is going to have to be a bit more careful in this lane. Should be able to maybe snipe the courier and dots. So you get some nice little gold boost. But when you just leave the Beastmaster against the Wraith King, well, as long as the boards are there, Nico Baby, he can still find farm, but you have to be a bit cautious with how much harassment Frank has on hand.
Fair enough. Of course, over in the mid lane, you've got Leo Style there up against Limp on the core Grimstroke. Doing a great job so far, John. 7-2, not really struggling whatsoever. However, down at the pot lane, Hanskin drops very low, and so does MJZ. They have been trading back and forth, these two supports, both sounding up at the exact same time as well. What do you expect from this lane? Do you think MNZ has a tough time? I mean, it is a tied line after all. I think the lane is not that easy.
It's not that easy, but at the same time, it takes a lot of investment from Alliance to get it off running. Like, look at S4. Every time he's up close, as long as MNZ gets some right clicks off, you're going to run out of mana. So he has to have Mangoes on hand, he needs a Soul Ring on hand as well, and then he needs a bottle as well. So every time S4 is out of mana, it doesn't matter to MNZ. Sure, his right-click harass goes down, but he gets to just sit back and farm, and there's not too much they can do, although they will try.
They know the blink's down because MNZ did go for a blink in, but it's going to be back up. Still, Earth Spike will land in time. Not going to be enough damage. Jay doesn't actually have any salves on him right now for MNZ. Going to have to tango up and maybe rely on the stick charges if they do end up going again. Perhaps just be a little bit more careful about how he blinks in onto S4.
Yeah. Still holding steady, and you can already see again, S4 had to pop 2 mangoes. He's just down until he gets that bottle and soul ring. They are still being aggressive though.
Hanskin's doing a great job of connecting these Earth Spikes. By the way, in case we didn't already mention it, by the way, John, Moose is currently jungling on the Enigma. So, very greedy style of play here for the laning stage from Thunder Predator. But it might just work out. In fact, mid lane, Limp is low. Inkswell going to fly out with a Fairy Fire. He connects the stun. Leo unable to kill off the Grimstroke. Limp almost kind of just turning around and getting a kill himself. There are kills that could possibly happen all across the map. And it's going to be MNZ going down first. S4 will follow. Definitely a pretty big win there for Alliance.
Yeah, I mean, they finally find the AM after some heavy investment. They do manage to kill him off first as well, so you're very happy on the side of Alliance. Just having that step up, and the Soul Ring's done for S4. So mana issues aren't going to be as big anymore. You can constantly try to apply some harassment out. MNC has to be cautious. This is when the lane gets hard for him to manage. So far though, even on the kill board, 1-1. Less than 1k lead for Alliance with that 1 kill on MNZ. It does feel nicer, but you have to remember this is a greedy start from Thunder Predator, and Moose is just not punished.
Aether Remnant not going to be on target. They just wanted to make sure the 4-minute power rune was protected, but it actually ends up spawning up top. The Limp being able to bottle that invis for himself. And things are still going relatively smoothly here for Limp, John. He is 2 last hits behind the Void Spirit, but not for long. He's got a massive wave coming in. Speaking of that Void Spirit, Leo style now. Gone back to the triangle for a bit. We just... Top lane, FNG. He's gone. Eventually these units are going to take over this lane, and it's like Frank has got him to work with moves now to make sure they pressure. Meanwhile, bot lane, S4 dropping low. MNZ, he thought about blinking forward, but he is going to go south instead.
Yep, no need to be too aggressive on the AM. They always run the risk of jumping into an Earth Spike from Hanskin. He's just been very on point for that control. Have to say, this greedy start for Moose is paying off, right? Like, he wasn't hunted down by the Chen. That's what we tend to see when you know someone's jungling. Chen just keeps track of you, prevents you from farming, prevents you from getting that solo EXP. But for the most part, Moose is allowed to do so. So he already has Arcane Boots up very early on for the Enigma. Gonna have the blink up relatively soon if he's left unchecked as well.
Dire structures are fortified.
Currently having a look down the bot lane, John, because S4, he's been on such a low HP pool for such a long time. Looks like he is going to finally have a salve out to get him a little bit healthier. Meanwhile, mid, a bit of pressure now. They've got the siege creep. Limp. He can't really protect it with his own body, and that's the real problem here, but he's got a creep wave coming in. Leo style, of course, not interested in allowing that siege creep to survive. It's not like the Void Spirit has an easy way of deleting that siege creep. Instead, do find Moose, but he's going to be just fine. Meanwhile, bot lane again, S4. Going to drop quite low on the tide, but once the mana runs out, he's just safe. At least up until they do have level 6 on this anti-mage. And top lane, bit of a dive here from Nico Baby. Try and pressure this T1 top tower.
They've got the siege creep up. Leosol is trying to intercept. They are still fairly low level in the support, so you don't want to overextend too much, but they've gotten some good damage in. And Nico Baby is having a fantastic time in his safe lane this time. Not much contestation from the Beastmaster. 45 to 19. Just at, what, 7 minutes in? This is really pretty much free farm. He is going for the armlet, so should mean a much more active Raid King as well, which means Alliance will start to pick up the pace once these key items and key EXP timings are met.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Not so often you get to see the armlet anymore, though. Usually it's just Midas into Radiant. But armlet can still be very useful, especially on a hero like this. And both teams just taking their time for now. Probably wait around that 10-minute mark when the next bounty runes spawn up for the big action to pop off. Of course, both teams are probably also waiting on those next siege creeps that are going to be coming in. Or put out MJ, but he's just going to try and interrupt small camp pool. Gonna cop a bit of harassment, but it is an AA after all. You can't do too much up against the tide. Not until you have the Ice Blast. He'll just keep harassing S4 and he'll just keep running him down.
Yeah, this is a lot of space out for M&Z, so it's exactly what you want on Thunder Predators. And anyway,
FNG
it's level 6 home.
top lane again.
Is this?
Once that Maleficus comes out on the Chen, he really has no way out. You can't TP, you can't really walk away with the boar slow. You're kind of just stuck. Meanwhile, the Power Rune again spawning up top, but Leo this time is going to be able to take it, but it may cost him his life if this Earth Spike lands. Hanskin can't reach yet. He's trying to break the gap. The Tranquils are up now. The Stroke of Fate, but the 8th Remnant is going to connect, and Hanskin, he will run the other way. Leo even giving him a tip, just so confident he was going to survive that. Definitely a very close call for him.
Yeah, now it's a lot of pressure on mid coming out from Alliance, but their side lanes are starting to open up a bit
Dire's
here.
top tower
Up
has
top,
some
Thunder
radiant
Predators
shift
still keeping that push in with the
Radiant
Eidolons and Boris. It can be quite potent, and the level 1 Necronomicon is flying out. Alliance though, Nico Baby is back along with Hanskin, so they could maybe look for a play, but they're just being very cautious. And a slower pace might just play into what Thunder Predator wants, because M&Z is still not under pressure. In fact, he can just dive S4. Soul Ring is there with Ravage, but you have to worry about that Mana Void as well.
Top T1 getting to be pushed in here by Thunder Predator. You're going to be hanging around, but it's really only him there to defend. Leo now would love to just go for an easy Chen pickoff. Meanwhile, bot lane, S4 does die, but FNG is now the one in danger, and he's gone. In fact, they even found another. They found Hanskin on the Lion. He's going to get frozen up. He'll die. Nico, he's going to try and fight back. Moose doesn't actually have the mana pool right now for the Black Hole. And Limp will be the one to take the kill with the Inkswell.
Dire's top tower is about to
But it's still a 3-for-1 trade across the map. The only real positive for Alliance is they do protect the tier 1 top.
They hold on at the least Nico Baby doesn't fall there as well. His armlet looks to be diverged now. It looks like he's saving up for the Radiance. There's a lot of space here for M&Z though. You mentioned him getting that solo kill on S4. Like, you have to pressure with Ravage, which is never ideal, especially if there's no follow-up. And Alliance are just so busy trying to keep their top lane safe that M&Z just has this free farm bot, free control, 2 levels up on a Tide. Not much you can do on the Tide to stop that. And now they open up the mid for the push. They've got the siege creep, they got the Eidolons off, and it's off to the races. Just chip away.
Slowly but surely, they'll leave this siege creep behind with some Eidolons. They're not going to commit.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower
And that
fall?
core Grimstroke can be really annoying in terms of D-push. Instead, they're going to head down bot, where MNZ is slowly draining the mana away from S4, trying to get rid of that Ravage. FNG now also going to show up, but they have heroes coming in. Moose, who does he go for? Maleficus, Black Hole, all being committed onto Hanskin. They'll Ravage up, they'll only get Moose, however. Now S4's in danger. They thought there was more heroes.
He's running. Dire's top
They committed the Ravage believing there was more because they committed the Black Hole. How often do you see that, John? A solo Black Hole on a support Lion, but it was a bait all along.
That's the right hero to go for. I mean, this is a support Enigma. Yeah, you have to remember that. Like, he doesn't care about the Black Hole too much. He's just a support. Even if you find a single pickoff, it's fine. The Lion's the biggest threat in that fight as well, because he has the Hex to keep M&Z in control. With that fight, M&Z heads top, cleans up the top tower. They get some good farm onto the AM, lacking 1 part for the Battle Fury compared to Nico Baby. Again, he went away from the armlet. He's just saving for the Radiance. But that doesn't keep up with an AM once the Battle Fury is up for M&Z, so they need more pressure on the AM, but Alliance just kind of left that lane, and they're going to be paying the consequences for it.
Still trying to push down that bot tower. S4, understanding how important it is to make the space for his carry. Ball coming in now, Limp with the boots of travel. Moving in onto Frank. Great stroke of fate on target. Leo now, 8th Remnant, Ice Blast, all going to be there, but the silence there in time from Limp to make sure he can't follow up. Now they found the Enigma. Moose, he'll die. Alliance, this time around, get the positive end of this engagement. And they can finally concentrate on that bottom tier 1.
looking for Radiant's bottom tower.
They've got the heroes on hand to force that push in. Thunder Predator do not have the spells up to really contest. Without the Black Hole, it is a bit lacking coming out from the Enigma. So it will just go. Nice tier 1 tower take for them. It's a lot of space out for MNZ, but you could argue the same for Nico Baby. He does have enough to at least buy out.
That's a big pick on. Ice Blast, Cold Feet, all being thrown out, but the Earth Spike, Hanskin saving the day. Limp, he's still alive. Inksworn now turning back around. Leo style, he might die. And S4 does get him, but here's the Raw now. Frank, right back in onto FNG. They'd love the Chinda, but a deny out. FNG denying himself off, it seems. Did he just take the boar?
Oh yeah.
I believe he just took the boar and denied himself.
Oh yeah, that is beautiful coming out from FNG. That was a roar committed for a deny kill. So Alliance just saving the day once more there with that nice heads-up play coming out. And Thunder Predator, the aggression just not quite lining up yet. They might need to wait for the black hole. Moose did rush a blink. It is up. Just need to play around with timing. Oh.
MJZ, he's going to be alright. It's fine. I think Alliance, especially for this game, they will make sure that mid-tier 1 does not fall at all.
That's the game plan. Just ensure that they control the jungle, ensure that they've got space out for Nico Baby to keep playing this farm game. Radiance is almost up. Just about 700 gold off, and Nico Baby has not really been contested past the laning phase. He hasn't died once. So it's a lot of space out for the Raid King. MNZ, though, has the Battle Fury up. The AM will start to escalate a bit faster. You will have to be cautious about how much space you give out there.
Oh, moves right in. Black hole is there, but the ink swell was out, but it was on a creep.
Revenants of my people.
There's no hesitation. Immediately getting the black hole out on that mid Grimstroke. Of course, it is very well worth it.
It's a big kill. They finally find punishment onto Limp, slowing down his pace just a bit more. Maybe opens up the mid, but they're not really sticking around for the objective. Instead, Moose is just using this chance to plant some deep wards, get control in the triangle, and maybe start to contest that Raid King farm. However, Alliance are smoked up here.
Smoke up indeed.
God changes hands.
A nice MNZ kill. Hanskin, did he spot him out? MNZ, he seems to know, or maybe he doesn't run for the Ancients, but he does break the smoke.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Hanskin looking for that instantaneous hex on the AM, but couldn't quite find it that time. MNZ, he'll keep farming up on his way to the Asha now. Alliance gonna move into the mid lane. Big Ravage with the Inkswell follow-up. They will blow up Leo style. Great initiation there from S4.
Yeah, that's a great blink reveal out as well, getting that immediate control. So you've got a bit of a back and forth here from Alliance and Thunder Predator. Both of them have big teamfight spells on long cooldown. This does lead into mid-tier 1 for Alliance. They can start to invade the jungle a bit better. They can take control of the Roshan, and they are lining up for that next objective. Just Rosh with the Skeleton Summons, with the tankiness you have on the Tide Hunter, there's not much that can stop this.
Nice play from Alliance, just taking every advantage they can get once that mid-tier 1 tower is down. It's very hard to counter out this Roshan while this is happening without a mid-tier 1, but an Ice Blast is going to get vision and make it very hard. And now Leo right into 5 of the finger out hex. He gets blown up. Leo maybe just a little bit too confident with the Ice Blast damage. Thought he could get a couple, but it does not pay off in his favor.
Yeah, it's a bit greedy. It does break off the Roche though. It is down at half HP, so they could wait out until the black hole's back up. Issue is that will sort of line up with when Ravage is back up for S4. And they're just going to go and reset. They know they don't have to worry about the big team fight spell. They should still be able to melt it away. Ice Blast is ready from MJZ though, and he could just spam that spell out.
S4, he might die. Ice Blast is going to land. They got the heal out in time, but the Midnight Pulse will get it done along with the Malefice. Now Nico, he has the reincarnation. He'd rather not lose his first life if he can avoid it. And he won't. He'll survive. I say that, but MNZ is jumping around on the backside of this engagement. Meanwhile, Thunder P, they're thinking about that Roshan. It is very low. They have Black Hole in just about 15 seconds. They might be going a bit too early, but no, the raw round FNG immediately deleted. Earth Spike to protect, but Nico Baby still dropping. They'll leave him on low HP. They'll leave him be. They don't even want the kill. They don't want to give him the free reset. And I think that actually works out quite favorably. So without the Wraith King being healthy, you're kind of just... It's suicide running in.
It definitely is. Like, you get the Aegis up now in Thunder Predator. Really good plays from MNZ. Like, that reflect on the Earth Spike just ruined any sort of counterplay from Alliance, and they were just held back long enough. They can line up for the mid. As you mentioned before, Grimstroke can de-push lanes quite nicely, but this tower still melts.
Alright, the Remnant again on target. Ice Blast to follow off. They just want to steal him off, but Ravage is there. S4, a good turnaround. Moves could not get a big black hole, however. Was on cooldown anyway, and they'll get the kill. KT1 tower did drop there for Alliance, but it won't really matter. Couple really nice kills now on the Dire, and you look at Nico Baby, John, his farm is really starting to escalate quite nicely, and he has indeed queued up those shards.
Yeah, just so important to have that up against AM. That does mean his other item timings are going to be delayed, but he already has the Blink Radiance, so it's not as big of an issue. Thunder Predator, we need to see them line up these initiations a bit more. And the Black Hole was expended in the last fight as well, by the way. So it's back on cooldown. Just very short duration there for Moose. He needs the BKB. Only lacks the recipe, but until then, it's going to be hard to commit on multiple heroes if you don't catch the big stuns out. And there are a lot of stuns there. So it's a difficult one for Moose. Still space out for the AM. Manta style up. It's going to be harder to lock in MNZ if you don't land a Hex first. And he's going right into the Scotty next, so the generation's not been great.
Nice blast. That'll be the end of him. MJ will take the kill on the AA. Bot lane, they're having a look at Nico Baby. Doesn't have the shards up yet. They aren't going to even try to make the jump. Instead, they head towards the top lane, it seems. MNZ, he'll push out the mid. Alliance, trying to find where Frank is. Hanskin, I believe, spotted him out, but so did Frank. Goes on who first. They get the Hex off on the Beastmaster. Here come the units, but he needs some help. He's not going to have it. Hanskin will finger him down. MNZ still showing up, going for the easy pickoff, and does get it. Still a positive trade, however, for Alliance, or maybe not. Leo, he's going to try and make some magic happen. He'll go on to Limp. They want the big core mid AA, but he's going to go Scepter. He'll be fine for now. Meanwhile, S4 with the Inkswell is going to be able to walk himself out. Leo, he can't find a target. In Alliance, they might be able to turn. Inkswell, Nico has the blink. Did not get the target in time. He'll still find the stun, however. MNZ going to try and help out. MJ, he is going to die to S4. Now the Soulbind into the double silence. Maybe they can kill the AM here. Midnight Pulse out. The double Earth Spike just jumping up and down. MNZ, he still gets the kill, but he will lose the Aegis. Ravage is also up, by the way, but S4 just has no mana for it. Frank, he will commit the roar, but the Kraken gonna purge it off immediately. It just won't matter. MNZ still gets the kill. Black Hole's up in 30 seconds. They found a TD rune for Leo or MNZ. It seems like really good timing to go for another tower for Thunder Predator.
Yeah, they've got the opportunity to do so. There is some damage issues coming through. Like, once Alliance runs out of mana, MNZ doesn't hit hard enough to actually clean up. You will have to watch just how far you push down on side of Alliance. Thunder Predator, though, it should really try to aim to get some black holes going. The BKB is still being saved up for Moose. A lot slower for him to find the angles. But once it's up, you're going to have an ace up your sleeve for that item. And there's just nothing that pierces true BKB here from the side of Alliance, so you're gonna have an easy time to land those big black holes. Alliance, for their part, Nico Baby still growing big, AC being saved up for now. And once you have that, again, you're mitigating so much damage because the AM doesn't really have any once you run out of mana. So they need to find a way to counteract that in Thunder Predator's end. That's gonna take some items down the line that, well, quite frankly, aren't there yet. The gap between MNZ and Nico Baby isn't that wide. It's only 1k. And all things considered, Nico Baby is keeping up quite nicely with a Battle Fury on the AM.
Certainly so. What's the game plan here from Thunder Predator? They know they have the advantage, but Alliance, they're going to be the ones to smoke up first. But he ahead from here. They spot out the AA. Be a nice kill onto MJ to get things started.
Submit!
Problem is there's no objectives for them to really take around this area. So it's just going to be a position 5 kill here for Alliance. While that's happening, Thunder Predator have been pressuring that bot lane. They do force out a glyph and rotations. There's great positioning, just hiding on the side, waiting for the right moment. They might counter-initiate now, S4. Very careful. Moves, putting the wards down, making sure they can't see him. But it looks like Alliance have forced back the side of Thunder Predator. There will be no counter-initiation.
This is enough time for Alliance to have Ravage off cooldown once more. They have this E-Blade up on Limp. That's going to cause issues for the AM if he's not ready. In fact, could just blow up some of those heroes in the Soul Bind. So lots of damage potential coming out here for Alliance. They are lagging behind in farm though. 4K lead for Thunder Predator. Much better distribution coming out from them. Very slightly ahead in their course, not by much. So it's still rather even despite the 4K lead being shown there. And the side of Alliance are still holding steady. They've got the plate mail up on Nico Baby, is almost at the AC, still 3 parts away, but Nico Baby has the DD on his end now, so they do smoke up with that.
See it here for Alliance. They are pretty close to having the AC up, but when you've got a DD bottle up, you may as well try and go ASAP. But they're fighting into the BKB black hole now. This is very dangerous. Even the Eye of Skadi now up. On MNZ, they're going to try and bait with S4. Forcing the tier 2 bot tower in. While holding the high ground, Alliance. MNZ going to run right in. They get the Hex off immediately, but a black hole is happening towards the south. It may not matter though, as MNZ's already dead. You get S4, but was it worth it? You lost your position 1 anti-mage, and now they know exactly where Moose is. He's going to try and blink out of there. And he does have a TP to use. Limp. Oh, nice stroke of fate right on target. Inkswell out, moves. He's trying to TP. He is not going to make it in time. Alliance will get another. Nico Baby, the one to take it, and that's a great team fight now for Alliance, John. MNZ getting taken out immediately. Not going to be a great feeling for Thunder Predator.
No, it was a bit disjointed. Like, they tried making a flanking move. The Ian's just so vulnerable right now with all the control. And Alliance are going to be very happy with
Nico
that.
still he's feeling the momentum now. Frank. Inkswell's not going to connect. There is the Ethereal. Nico still gets the kill with the Radiance burn.
Money changes.
Man, it's just small misplays coming out from Thunder Predator. Like that delayed TP for Moose, costing him his life. They need to reel it in. Alliance have closed the gap, less than 1K lead for Thunder Predator. You perhaps need more items up on their AM as well. You see MNZ saving up for the butterfly, so he's going to have more damage, even if the mana is drained. But Nico Baby's getting really tanky. AC up, saving for the Abyssal. That's going to be a major spike for him and MNZ.
Blink right in. Very aggressive Blink counterspell. They're in time, but they still want to chase him down. Hanskin! Great Hex out into the stun. They burst him down in time though. 8th the Remnant was there to help out. Nico Baby does not have a Blink to use with the Inkswell. One thing you have to be really cautious of is Hanskin. That Blink Hex. Very dangerous stuff for MNZ. That Nico Baby just so confident onto the high ground. They don't have a black hole, but Nico, he might lose his first line. He does. 8th Remnant, Ice Blast, Ravage, going to be committed. S4 needs to protect. They found Nico Baby, however. They just blow him up. Now the Soulbind, though, in the back, holding down 2. Both cores, in fact, but Limp is still going to be in danger. He's surrounded. MNZ will take the kill. Now towards the south, S4. He'll TP just fine. But in the mid lane, FNG is going to be another casualty of war here for Alliance. That's a 3-for-0 trade off the back of a very aggressive blink in from Nico.
Yeah, that was just overconfident from Nico. They did not have wards in the triangle. I understood the bottom place because they have this nice forward ward on the jungle, but the triangle they had no vision. Very blind walk in, just melted. Now S4.
S4, all his mana's gone. MNZ not really dealing much damage without mana. But they will slowly but surely get there eventually as the blink forward to try and block him a little bit. They'll get him. Into the mid-tier 2 tower they go.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This game 2 at least is a much more back and forth than it was game 1.
Dire's tower didn't last long.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing some fighting potential out from Alliance. They're still hitting some great timings. They will have to fight around this Roche though. MNZ just goes in. They do have a nice ramp ward up there, so they know people have turned around into the pit. They do not have Ravage, and there is a black hole here on Mood, so it could be a risk coming in here, but it looks like they might not even make it in time.
No, it does not. Aegis Cheese about to go the way of Thunder Predator and an immediate blink up to the high ground. MNZ, he just loves doing this. He keeps you on your toes, just blinking forward without vision. Just does not care. Alliance, they are gonna back.
Yeah, it's time to play defense a bit. Wait for the Ravage to be back up. Once you've got that spell, you can easily look to force these bigger fights. They are still kind of trying to build up the Nico Baby. He's trying to go back for the BKB now. Once you have that in the Raid King, it's going to be hard to pin him down. He's going to be able to avoid a lot of your magic damage as well. But you still have to worry about the Roar. Like, Frank can still pin you down with a Roar anyway, clean up afterwards, and just prevent the BKB from being an issue. We see Frank do that a lot up against these BKB cores on his Beastmaster, so Alliance will have to still be very disciplined with how they approach the next few fights.
Like the fact that Limp has gone back now for the Agnum Scepter, wanting that Dark Portrait. Meanwhile, MNZ still going to be thrown out. He dodges now the double Psalm cell with the Assimilate, but a big Ravage S4 looking to turn it back around. They got Leo, they've got the AM under control for at least a little bit, but they've lost the first life of the Raid King. Nico, he'll respawn now, but the Roar immediately out from Frank. There's your Ghost Scepter, protecting the Nico Baby, but the Black Hole is there. Moves, holding it down, and that'll be the Raid King dying again. Now the double stun out, the Mana Void, everything just going perfectly for Thunder Predator. Oh boy.
Alliance. They dive in deep for MNZ. They couldn't press him down. They find a Void Spirit, but it doesn't matter. Like, Leo style just does not matter in these fights. It's the aim choice. They even cancel the TP of S4.
Here comes the Ice Block.
Oh, the item drops. The item drops. Moose.
It moves. Let him know about it. S4 gonna give him the gush.
Cast upon the tides.
Oh man,
Nothing like a bit of BM, John.
spicy.
Love to see it.
Oh, they are so confident inside the Thunder Predator. They're ripping through the high ground. No one to defend. Limp.
MNZ's crazy, John. He's just diving tier 4 towers now. The man's lost his mind.
He wants to win. You know, he just wants to clear out these towers. He wants this game to end. They still have another series afterwards, towards the end of the day. Alliance as well. They need to find wins. They need this win. They need a draw to start climbing up, because they still haven't found one in their first series. This is their second one. And Thunder Predator are looking unstoppable now. Once it racks down, there are still side towers to save them. So it's not going to be mega creeps yet. But the Aegis still stands. The cheese is still in play there for Leo style. Have to worry about all of that. The Black Hole is a bit off cooldown though. It's like a minute 10. So you should have Ravage up earlier once more on S4. He's going to have to land another big Ravage, and they're going to have to focus down one hero and make it work from there.
Dire's top tower has some radiant-shaped problems.
Top tower going to be sieged down now. No problem here for Thunder Predator.
Dire's
Definitely a
top
bit of an
tower
issue
is
for
under
Alliance, but they have no choice but to watch it go down.
Dire's top tower.
I like the Rapier Q from Nico Baby, at least. It's that BKB first. To really feel confident enough to move into these team fights.
Yeah, it's getting to that point.
Oh, here we go. They jump right in with the Yule Scepter, the Aether Remnant from the left side. They have the Hex out though on MNZ with the finger now, but MNZ just takes no damage. Back on to try and help out this Enigma. S4, a great Ravage. He's connected with everyone. The double mana drain, the soul by the silencers. They've thrown everything but the kitchen sink, but they can't kill anyone else. They do at least kill Moose, and that'll stop the high ground attempt from Thunder Predator, and buy more time for Nico Baby to try and get this Radiance up. Hell, even S4 now, with the shards, goes into a Deso. He knows he needs to help with some damage.
Yep, this is one way to rip through that AM. We've got a lot of ways now to melt through some of these squishier targets as well once he gets the Ravage off. They're leaving themselves a bit vulnerable. Once the respawn's up on Moose, he's going to have Black Hole. Ravage is going to be down for about 90 seconds at that point, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Thunder Predator to look for another pickoff. They've got the Basher up here on MNZ. You can just go in, try to bash through the BKBs that might fly out and take complete control if you're not careful.
Oh, they're down there. Hanskin, vital part of the team, down to the Lion and MNZ. As soon as he knows that Lion's dead, wants to go for a fight. Instead, I think they will go back for that tier 2 bottom tower. Still have a bit of time left on the Aegis.
Bottom tower, Jax.
I say that, but it is now gone.
Yeah, it gets a reset on MNZ with low on mana anyway, frees up the slot for the Basher to be in. BKB is up for Nico Baby.
Oh, and
So he can
there's
stand in
almost
front,
Darius bottom
but
tower.
he has to be worried about the Basher coming through from MNZ, so there's still a chance to bash through him, take control. Even the Black Hole is still going to be
Oh, MNZ right in. Nico Baby going to be targeted. Will lose all his mana immediately.
the Dark Portrait, though.
They do have the Dark Portrait. Frank is forced to roar it just to run away. That's how powerful it is. This AM is hitting like a truck, and that Dark Portrait hits even harder.
And over here, Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, this is actually really difficult for Thunder Predator. With that Dark Portrait, you've got the ultimate stall here from Alliance. And it's not a very long cooldown as well. It's like 30.8 seconds with a Quickening Charm on Limp. They do smoke up. They know they've got a tool to play with. Ravage is still on a 10-second cooldown, but that might just be enough.
Ian, who they got there? It's going to be Leo Star on his own trying to get some kills. They don't get the kill, not yet anyway. Hanskin is still dying to the Ice Blast. MNZ moving in, S4 has been caught out. He'll go down.
Wow, no buyback.
No buyback in MNZ. You know this man, he gets one kill and he wants to go for the whole team. Won't have the opportunity. No Roshan to play for either, so they're just going to get back to farming and just keep extending the net worth lead.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They've got 11k up now. Alliance starting to lag behind. Abyssal done on your AM, so you can jump right in. The next issue after S4 is Limp. Like, Hanskin's really darn good, but Limp is the damage right now. It's not even Nico Baby. Just Dark Portrait is such a low cooldown, such low committal as well to get such great damage off, that they need to find a way to jump the backlines and prevent that Grimstroke from becoming an issue. So we're going to have to see if they can reach that far back. You do have Leo Style who can jump in. You've got MNZ who can try, but I don't think MNZ actually wants to try jumping Grimstroke. Like, once you're up there, he gets a free Dark Portrait, you're just forced to blink away anyway. So it's got to be someone else to start that. Alliance not dissuaded. They do buy the smoke. S4 is respawning soon. They have Ravage up and try to make even more plays. And this core Grimstroke's actually buying them all this space, so it is kind of panning out. However, Moose is just allowed to be really greedy. Octarine core up. He has lower cooldown than Black Hole just by a few seconds. It's got some lifesteal now as well, and true to Black Hole, it's just a lot more uptime for the Enigma's damage.
And it is, John. Lions. Or, looking at MNZ. Got the Dark Portrait of the AM again, so they know they can fight right now. They're trying to use it to scout for a little bit. Nobody can really handle that Dark Portrait. That Leo Style needs just to simulate to get out. Ice Blast, Nico Baby immediately targeted. He's just going to die to the units. And now Moose, he's in. Malison for rather Midnight Pulse Black Hole. Ravage committed. It's not going to be enough. Nico, though, will survive. Into the tide now. MNZ, where are we going? Straight after the Grimstroke. He wants Limp dead. The Ghost Scepter going to save the day for now. But Leo, still on the chase, will go after Hanskin instead. Limp will survive, but MNZ still chasing him down. Limp trying his any way out. No, there is not. He's going to die. Back on S4. A double kill for MNZ, and they are rushing for the Roshan pit.
Yeah, that's just so well timed. Roche early respawn up. They've got the Ag's Blessing to play with here. It's going to be a lot for them to have on hand. Now there is a buyback here on Limp, and the respawns are going to be short enough that after the Roche, they should be up for the next fight. However, there won't be Ravage. There's no Black Hole to worry about as well, but because of that Octarine, the cooldown of the black hole is a lot lower.
Yes.
So if the fight lasts long enough, you have to worry about the next BH coming out. And the 2 lives in the AM, the cheese up on Leo style makes it so much harder to find the targets you want to just immediately burst down here.
That Aghanim Scepter Enigma is so painful. It is.
Oh yeah.
It's
Dire's
painful.
top tower
He
is
could
under
just
attack.
delete Nico Baby by himself if he catches him with the black hole. Onto the tier 3 top tower they go. There aren't many buybacks on the map. In fact, MNZ, again, once onto Nico Baby, but he's going to be just fine. With the Glimmer Cape, he'll survive. And so MNZ back towards the top lane. T3 tower, not gonna last. Nico, jump in now with the Hex out from Hanskin. Double Earth Spike as well. S4 right in. Still doesn't have the Ravage, but it won't matter. Raw committed on the Wraith King, but MNZ, he's out of mana. He'll have to give up his first life, it seems. A good start for Alliance. Without Leo, can they really fight? A great Earth Spike. Hanskin with the control of the black hole. Moves it in. He's caught all 3, but where's your damage? Where's your follow-up? The Ice Blast was there, MJZ, making sure they're good. Nico Baby, he's in trouble. MNZ will get the first life, but he's right back out. S4 now, jumping back in. Ravage up in 10 seconds. He just needs to keep vision. MJ, he's going to be sacrificed. So overall, still really not that bad for Alliance, but in the end, 4 for 4, 2 buybacks on Alliance. Great black hole from Moose. But the game is not over. They are only 1 racks down.
Yeah. They're holding on really well here on Alliance. They're managing to play their cards right, isolate MNZ. Leo style needs a way to just not get controlled. He needs a BKB or something. He's trying to save up for his own Octarine instead. Maybe that helps the cause, but I think this Void Spirit just needs a defensive item. He always gets blown up in these fights Alliance wins. If he stays alive just once, pops the cheese, gets the control off, with the Resonant Pulse to set up, with the Remnant as well to set up, it just becomes a little bit too much for Alliance to play up against. And because of that, Thunder Predator now have to take a step back. They do not have the second life from MNZ anymore as insurance, so they have to play it a bit safe. They are farming up some tier 4 items at least, but there is enough space for Alliance to take back some map control, take a tier 1 top, get some deep wards in. Very nice deep wards as well. They should know the movements of Thunder Predator down the line, but it's not going to take too long for the deep wards to come in.
Nico's got enough gold almost for that Divine, just needs a bit more. That level up definitely going to help them as well if they can get a nice team fight. Smoke up. Ravage still available on S4. Predator in the mid lane, also smoked right behind Frank. It seems though Alliance do spot out exactly what is going on.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Get the Chen creeps at least before the team fight really breaks out. MNZ again just on his own, just trying to rush in. They'll see Nico Baby. He's gonna TP, but no, MNZ in the last second will drain all the mana and get so much damage onto Nico Baby. Where's the help? The team's left. Alliance is gone. They've left it. Nico Baby getting a black hole to death. He has buyback. And luckily, he did not have enough gold for the Divine Rapier.
Yeah, very fortunate for Alliance. However, if he does buy back, that means they're going to lack the damage in the Divine. And it could be a bit risky. There is no black hole to worry about in the next fight, but that cooldown is relatively low. There is a Blink Roar available for Frank now as he does finally buy out the Blink. They're going to set their eyes for the objectives, Alliance. And to make something happen with the Dark Portrait and with a Ravage, and somehow get in there and find some kills again.
King Swell, big Ravage in S4. He's got the main target. He's got the AM. They missed the Earth Spike, but they get the Hex. Can they follow up? Roar out on through the tide. He's going to be just fine. S4 going to be turned upon. They can't kill him. MNZ still just so difficult to deal with on this anti-mage. Nice spell prism there now for Leo Style as well. That's going to be enough for Thunder Predator. They'll back off for a bit longer.
Just a bit of a reset. They know Ravage is down. Black Hole will be up in 40 seconds and Ravage won't be. So they're going to have another angle to approach this game. 31k up, 34 to 20. Thunder Predator still respecting the high ground of Alliance. We've seen that Dark Portrait do a lot of work. I think we need to start seeing Limp maybe going for the Dark Portrait Soulbind, but he's more than happy just cloning out the AM clone. AM Illusion just kind of playing around with that. Look at that, dual of AMs.
They're going for first. Smoke right behind Leo. Then OS4 doesn't have the Ravage for quite a while. Nico, get the skeletons out, try and clear out these units. Here comes the jump in knee. Leo right in on to the Tide, and now the Black Hole moves. He's called 3. This is really, really bad news for the side of Alliance as they just get completely wiped. Oh, this Enigma moves. He is all over the place.
Oh my goodness, he's just setting up. He gets all the black holes he needs. He's been allowed to breed out when they call it.
They call it, they can't defend. Thunder Predator will continue on through the group stage undefeated so far.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's been fantastic for Thunder Predator. Hey, you know what it is, Mike? 2 EU teams up against the South American underdog.